Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your monthly reading for July. Thank you for being here. I hope you are doing well. Let's see what's coming through for you. You can use this for your sun, moon, and rising sign. And if you want to book a personal reading, my email is in the description box below. Send me an email, okay? All right, so this is a Celtic cross. I will show you the cards, okay? All right, so your cards are for the center of the reading. You have Ace of Swords. That's clear thinking, communication. Wow, 10 of Cups. Something to do with home and family, a new beginning. Subconscious, you have Judgment. That is you moving into a new home. World, that's your card. World is ruled by your sign. So it looks like some of you guys are either relocating, traveling, changing homes, moving into a bigger one. Page of Wands is in the conscious position. Something new is on the horizon. Knight of Cups. I'm getting lovely cards for you. I love this. Knight of Cups is you staying in your heart. King of Swords is your advice card, okay? Advice position. You have King of Swords. Environment, you have Seven of Swords. Something tricky happening there, Sagittarius. Just to be Six of Cups is friendships, siblings, something to do with your kids. Outcome, Nine of Wands. Okay, except for this and the Seven of Swords in the environment, I don't see any challenging cards for you. So for some, it could just be exhaustion, okay? All right, Queen of, again, another nice card, Queen of Cups. So you have several court cards. You have Queen of Cups, King of Swords, Knight of Cups, and then Page of Wands, and then you also have Six of Cups. So for some, this may have something to do with the home and family, maybe a celebration, get together, reunion, friendships, a party, something like that. And for some, this may have something to do with your social circle. On the other hand, since you also have world, it could be travel coming through, or it could be you connecting with people who live in different parts of the world. So expansion is what this is for you, what this means. So for some, it could be happening in your personal life, or it could be your professional life where you are networking, having virtual conversations, maybe joining a group, collaboration, working together on a project, something like that. So world. Yes, so let's break this down, see what this is all about. So let's start with Queen of Cups. So Queen of Cups is a card of intuition, creativity, spirituality, okay? So this could either be your energy, Sagittarius. It could be that this is a water sign, so Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy. It could be that these signs are in your chart, or it could be someone you are interacting with. Maternal energy, so something to do with a parent figure, or someone you are meeting. On the other hand, this is if this is the energy that you are embodying, then this is again feminine maternal energy, meaning something to do with, again, your home, family, people you love. It could be that you guys are doing something together, or it could be you taking care of someone, things like that. On the other hand, this is also where you are you are in touch with your own emotional nature. You know what's going on internally. Something to do with triggers here. If there is something that you are coming across emotionally, then this is where you are in touch with your own emotions. So you know what's going on internally. So yeah, so that's nice. This is also a card of intuition. So just be aware of what's happening. The thoughts you are coming across, feelings, and listen to your own intuition. You want to trust yourself, trust your own intuition, and don't doubt yourself. So Nine of Wands here may have something to do with doubts. So just be aware of your doubts. That's what the Queen of Cups says, like being aware of our own emotions, but you don't want to let it control you, your choices, your decision, but it's all about being aware of what's happening, but then making choices that aligns with what you want to experience. So whether it's your professional life, whether it's your personal life, uh, yeah, when we make choices and decisions that aligns with what we want to experience, what we want to create, then it will be possible for us to move in the right direction. Yes, subconscious, you have judgment. So judgment here has to do with you coming out of a comfort zone. A difficult period is now ending, and this is where you are keeping an open mind, meaning it could be that you are learning new things. It could be something to do with the conversations you are having with others, your social life, or it could be you taking up a new project, something to do with writing. It could be that you are writing a book, or it could be a speaking engagement where you are giving some presentation, some talks, things like that. And yeah, so learning a new project, you making a decision, so this is like a breakthrough moment. If there have been something that was like holding you back, this is where you are finding the clarity. You know exactly what you want to do, and then you are taking the action, taking some initiatives. So that's nice. This is also a card of intuition, so listen to yourself again. That's coming through very strongly for you guys. Okay. And also this is where you are also releasing judgments, meaning this is where you are seeing your experiences in a new way, maybe um, seeing the people in your life in a new way, your past experiences, yourself, what is possible for you, because you also have world. This is where you are in that period of expansion and growth. So meaning something to do with a project you are working on, your business, or it could also be personal life, your own personal goals. So this is where you are becoming more aware of all the things that you can do, all the everything that is possible for you. So that's helping you take action and take initiative. So this is a card of clarity, clear thinking, you moving in the right direction, making the right decision, right yeah, beginning something new here. This is clarity. So yes, yeah, this is the month where you are taking the action, Sagittarius, and King of Swords is your advice card for the month. The advice here is trust yourself. Again, that is coming through very strongly for you guys. Do not get distracted by what's out there, what people's judgments, their opinions, and things like that. King of Swords is a card of holding on to your own wisdom, what you know to be true. And sometimes it's important to ask for perspectives, so we can see the bigger picture, because when we look at something, we only see things from that angle, right? We don't see the entire picture. We don't see what's going on the other side. So sometimes it's important to ask for perspectives, consult someone for their ideas, their suggestions and things like that. But at the end of the day, we have to make our own decision, because we know ourselves better. We know our what we want, what we want to create and experience. We have a better understanding of what we want. So asking for perspectives is important, but you want to trust your own instincts, your own inner knowing, and what you know to be true, and stick to it. That's what the King of Swords is. This is about stubbornly. This is stubborn, stubborn, being stubborn. So sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not that good, But then this is your advice card. So this month is reminding you to trust what you know to be true. Hold on to your own wisdom, your own what you have learned so far, because that there is value in it. And this is also where you are making some, the card is reminding you, be clear about what you want. Be clear about what you want and then go for it. Okay. So that's your advice card for the month. And that's exactly what you are doing here. Judgment, on the other hand, has to do with releasing karmic patterns. When I said karmic patterns, it may have something to do with people you hang out with, your relationships, or it could also be habits, patterns, tendencies. So something to do with our internal blocks. Sometimes our own patterns hold us back from experiencing something that's beautiful. So it could be that you are coming out of it, you are releasing, it could be ideologies, it could be old beliefs, something like that is now going away. So a breakthrough moment. On the other hand, this is also forgiveness. You seeing your own past experiences differently and releasing people, releasing emotions that have served its purpose. For some, it may have something to do with a particular relationship, because King of Swords is right next to it. So yeah. And then here you have, center of the reading, you have Ace of Swords covered by 10 of Cups. So this is where there's some communication in relationships. So it could be that you are, there is a get together, everybody is there around you. So maybe you are having some, conversations. On the other hand, this is also something to do with self-care, self-love, things like that. So you are taking some action, something to do with your own well-being, your health, your well-being. So you are taking some action on that, in that area. So that's nice. Doing something that helps you stay more calm, centered, find clarity, things like that. For some, it could be taking up a creative project. Page of Wands is in the conscious position. So this could be your energy, Sagittarius. This is a fire sign, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So it could be your energy. This is where you are taking something new. You are being spontaneous. You are taking some decisions without really, what I'm saying is, this is where you are planning, but on the other hand, with this covering it, it feels like you are putting the plans aside and you are listening to your heart, being spontaneous. So you are listening to your intuition, your instincts, and then you are taking some action here. So something new is on the horizon. So it could be you being more playful, spontaneous, experimenting with things, trying something new and different. Or it could be travel, again, you exploring new places, exploring new way of doing things. Or it could be a new journey, creative endeavor. You have Knight of Cups in the immediate future. This is where, again, you are staying in your heart, a very heart-centered energy. For some, it could be an offer, a proposal. It could be an apology. If you are feeling bad about something, you are reaching out to that person. See, you have Six of Cups as well. So Six of Cups is all about either you saying sorry, or for some it could just be you reaching out to someone, being appreciative, saying thanks if there is something you are gratitude is what this energy is about. Appreciating. For some, it could be that you are shopping for gifts, Sagis. reciprocity is what this energy is. Both these cards, all these cards may have something to do with, this is youthful energy. So it may have something to do with friendships. Yeah, you connecting with someone here. On the other hand, this is also siblings. Yes, past memories. For some, it could be an old friend. For some, it could be past experiences that you are thinking about, maybe. Nostalgia, It could be that you are visiting a place that has some kind of meaning for you. So, place where you are born or raised, things like that. So past memory, something to do with parents, or it could also be, you connecting with someone from the past. Memories. Yeah. So, yeah, Knight of Cups, you connecting with someone, reaching out. This is also where you are taking a leap of faith, meaning, like I mentioned, you are not, if there is something you wanted to do, this is where you are not overthinking or over analyzing things. This, you are just going for it, you are not, you like again, being spontaneous in your actions. So environment, you have Seven of Swords. So Seven of Swords here is someone who is not transparent. So Sag is something to be mindful of. It could be that you are reaching out to someone, but instead of saying, hey, how are you, I just wanted to talk to you, what they are saying is something else. Like, they don't want to, like, this is someone who is not direct in their communication. Maybe they are finding some excuses to talk to that person, so yeah, something like that is happening, Saji. So if you, the conversations you are having, so yeah, I'm not sure, like it all depends upon who you are talking to. Maybe you are just doing a pulse check to understand where this person stands. Maybe you don't want to be direct, things like that. So just telling you what the energy is. But when it comes to certain things, maybe a direct conversation is what's needed. I don't know. Again, it all depends upon the situation. So you can make your own decision. Again, this is the month where you want to make your own decision. Don't listen to me. Listen to your own heart. Listen to your instincts, and do what this situation demands. But yeah, on the other hand, Sajesh, this is also where you are leaving something midway, quitting, leaving. It may have something to do with groups you belong to. It could also be something that you are undertaking a project. If there is something that you are taking up, maybe you will find something else and you are leaving it midway. Things like that. So just be aware of this energy, because before you make any commitments, before you make any promises, it's important to know if you can do it, because you are ending the month with Nine of Wands. This is where you are tired. This is exhaustion. So you might make some promises, some commitments, and later on something will come up, or you will change your mind, and then you won't be able to finish things. Then that won't look nice, and that will be, you won't feel good about it, is what I want to say. So before you make any promises, commitments, before you take on new projects, know if you can do this, if you have space, and if you really want to do it, because yeah, or if you just want to make the other person happy. So you want to ask yourself, are you doing it for yourself, or are you doing it for somebody else? Because that won't be good. You will, if you are tired, then you will also feel resentments, that's not good when it comes to relationships, so that important, be mindful of that. And this is also secrets. So someone is holding something back. It may have something to do with someone you are reaching out to. Maybe they are not being honest about their own feelings. Maybe there is something there that you need to be careful of. On the other hand, this could also be some like information they are holding. Someone is holding some information. I mean, they are not being completely true here, completely honest here, transparent is what I want to say. So yes, Sagittarius, setting boundaries. So this is where you are setting strong boundaries. This is where you are a little bit tired of what's been happening, and some trust issue. With both these cards, trust issues may come up. So just be aware of where this is coming from. Is it really something that has to do with the other party, the people concerned, or if it's your own fears? Okay, so that is something to be mindful of. So then you can make the right choices and decisions here to understand if you really have to set the boundaries, or if it's not needed. But when it comes to the projects that you are taking up, this may have it could be that you are busy and you might come across some doubts whether you want to still pursue this or whether you want to just let it go. So some doubts. So again, before you make any decisions, it's important to sit down and really think through things before making decisions. So you don't want to rush into anything, because to avoid any confusion later on. So this is what's happening on for you for this month. And let me also give you an overview of what's happening in the sky in July. So June 30th, we are entering into the shadow period, Mercury shadow period. And the actual Mercury retrograde happens on the 17th of July. So Mercury is all about communication. This is what that energy is all about, And Mercury during Mercury retrograde, we might come across some communication challenges. So it's important to be direct whenever possible in order to in order to avoid misunderstandings. So that's important. And also, when you send out important communications, it's important to check with the other person to understand they have received your email, your messages, because sometimes they don't see it, and we are like, we would be like waiting for a response, and if we don't receive it, then we might come across some frustration, things like that. So when you send out important communications, just make sure, maybe just gives that person a call to understand if they received it. On the other hand, if you are sending out important emails, things like that, it's important to recheck to make sure all the informations are there, so to avoid back and forth, so that's important. On the other hand, it could Mercury also has to do with technology, and during the retrograde we might come across some issues around that, things breaking down, things like that. So what I want to say is just be aware of what's happening, and have patience. Take it easy, take it slowly, know what you have control over, what you don't. So taking care of ourselves is important. And if you are frustrated, know that where you are putting your time, your energy, and that's important. Okay, on the 4th of July, we have Neptune going into the sign of Aries. Sorry, Neptune retrograde is happening in the sign of Aries. That can lead to, again, some confusion, because Neptune has to do with our dreams, is all about a dreamy mind, and Neptune retrograde can lead to confusion in our own mind, a foggy mind. So yes, again, before making any promises, commitments, just know what you are taking up and if this is something that you really want to do. So taking your time to clearly think through things is important before saying yes or no to someone or something, okay? And then we also have Uranus moving into the sign of Gemini on the 7th. Now, Uranus is a planet of unconventional thinking. Uranus has to do with expansion. And that's what I'm seeing here for you. It could be that you are doing something is a that is an unfamiliar territory is what I am seeing here. So it could be that you are learning, you are taking a class, or you are trying something new and different, you are exploring new way of doing things. That's what this energy is about. So which is nice, because judgment here has to do with you staying open to different perspectives, different ideas, different way of doing things, exploring new ways of doing things. So that's amazing. So when you come across, so what that means is, how this can play out in our own life is, we might come across some challenges. It could be personal life, it could be professional life, it could be our health, whatever the case may be. So these challenges requires a different approach, a different attitude, and a different perspective. So if we are approaching this situation, whatever it is that you are coming across here, which is kind of stressful, so whatever this situation is, maybe if you are approaching it in the same way you did in the past, you will get the same results. And if it's not something that's working, then maybe the situation is reminding you to approach it differently. So think about what you can do differently this time, and maybe this requires a different perspective, a different attitude. Okay, so that's Uranus in Gemini, which is happening on the 7th. And this energy also has to do with progress, and thinking outside the box. My goodness. And that's what this energy is, thinking outside the box. You coming from a different perspective, a different approach, you seeing something differently. And this is also freedom, you freeing yourself from something here. Again, it could be something in your external, like responsibilities, a job situation, commitments, things like that. Or it could be internal, beliefs, ideologies, patterns, habits, things like that. And then on the 13th, we have Saturn retrograde happening in the sign of Aries. So we have Neptune retrograde in Aries and Saturn retrograde in Aries. Aries is your sister sign. Aries is also a fire sign, just like yours is. And so Saturn is a tough taskmaster. Saturn has to do with discipline, commitment, things like that. So Saturn retrograde means more restrictions. So that's what I'm seeing here with 9 of Wands. You feeling held back, you feeling restricted. So what this energy is reminding us is, if something is important for us, then the energy is asking us to strengthen our commitments, strengthen our resolve. So instead of, we might come across some doubts if it's a little bit challenging. However, the situation is asking us to ask ourselves, how important is this for you? What is your why? Why do you want to do this? Why did you start it in the first place? So when we are clear about our whys, the reason why we are pursuing something, the reason why we are putting in the work, then it will be possible for us to overcome the setbacks and the challenges that we are coming across. So that's all about strengthening our commitments, staying on our path, and doing what needs to be done, making an effort. So where there is a will, there is a way. If something is important for us, we will find a way to overcome the challenges. And that's what I'm seeing with Knight of Cups. This is where you are taking a leap of faith. See the mountain, this is the ups and downs we come across in our everyday life. And this is you rising above the ups and downs. And that's exactly what the Ace of Swords is all about. The mountains are here, and this is your intellect, your spirit. With both these cards, the energy is reminding you, your spirit is more powerful than your problems, Sagittarius. Your spirit is more powerful than the issues and the challenges you are coming across. So this is reminding you, you got this. This is a card of self-empowerment. This is where you are not, when the thing is, when we want something, we find a way. Otherwise, we find excuses, So this is where you are rising above the daily challenges that you are coming across and finding a way to overcome this situation, what you are coming across here. So it's about, again, asking yourself whether it's important for you or not. So if it's important, it's asking you to strengthen your own commitments, and you will find a way to overcome this challenge. If not, this is where you are releasing something, you are letting go of something. So both energies are available for you. Then it's all about making, your own decisions, and that's what the Ace of Swords is. And then King of Swords, decisions. So that's Saturn retrograde happening in Aries. So it's important to work with what you got and be more resourceful is important. And then we have on the 20th, Mars conjoining South Node in the sign of Virgo, which has to do with karmic patterns and release. That's exactly what's happening here. Karmic release. You are releasing something here. Not sure what you are letting go of. You also have Seven of Swords here. So you are letting go, releasing something here. Again, it could be something in your external, or it could be internal. So that's happening on the 20th. And then we have Moon in Virgo squares Uranus in Gemini. That's happening on the 26th. And that can lead to some restlessness, control issues, things like that. And that's what I'm seeing here. So yes, just be aware of this energy. When we know what's happening in the sky, what's happening in the cosmos, this is collective energy, Sagis, okay? So it all depends upon how challenging this is going to be, has to do with our own spiritual journey, where we are on our own spiritual journey. For some, it may not feel that challenging, because they have, depending upon their own past experiences where they are now, but for some, it may feel a little bit challenging. So not sure where you are, how far you have come in your own journey. So just letting you know what's happening in the sky, so you can then work with this energy, Again, collective energy. So how it's going to play out in your own personal life is something that you need to be aware of, so you can then work with this energy. Okay. So yeah, this can lead to some restlessness and control issues. So it's important to know where you are putting your energy. Again, just be aware of commitments, promises that you are making, what you are taking up, things like that, because that can lead to, because it's happening towards the end of the month on the 26th, okay? So yeah, to avoid stress and overexhaustion, just be proactive, be prepared. So beginning of the month, going into the month, if you are coming across like people's demands, expectations, things that you are taking up, just know if you can sustain it, because something else might come up, and then you will have to say no to things, and that won't be that you won't feel good about it. So, and again, know what you have control over, what you don't. It's all about awareness, and then using your energy wisely, so you don't have to, worry about anything later. So, and then on the 30th, we have Venus moving into the sign of Cancer. So, that's a lovely energy. And by around that time, we will also be out of the retrograde season, because the Mercury retrograde is on the 17th, and it will be done by around that time, not exactly out of the retrograde, but still. But Venus moving into the sign of Cancer is amazing energy. Venus has to do with abundance, prosperity, beauty, love, romance, comfort, home, family, things like that. And Venus loves to be in the sign of Cancer, because Cancer rules home and family, So that is nice energy. And then we have, on the 31st, we have Mercury Kazimi happening in the sign of Leo, and which means Mercury is close to Sun, and Leo is ruled by the Sun. Leo has to do with authentic self-expression, and we will be in Leo season on the 22nd, by the 22nd of July, because 22nd is when Sun moves into the sign of Leo, and Leo season begins on the 22nd. So Mercury Kazimi in Leo Mercury has to do with communication, and Leo has to do with our self-expression, authenticity, So this energy could mean introspection. That's what this is, nine of wands. You setting some boundaries, you making some time for you to think about things, think through things. What is important, what is not. And if you have been over giving, then this is where you are holding back, So, introspection to help us understand how to move forward with authenticity, with how to create more meaning in our life, what feels good, things like that. So that requires introspection, contemplating on our own experiences to understand if we are on the right path or not. If not, then this is about making amendments, changing the course of our, changing our path, the way we do things like that. So that's what's happening in the cosmos. Now let's see what's coming through on the oracle cards. So something to do with your social circle, you taking up activities and connecting with people. Travel is also coming through. You are making decisions. You are staying in your heart. But just be aware of what you are taking up, so you don't have to feel, you don't, that sense of exhaustion and overwhelm later on in the month. But you want to trust yourself, trust your own instincts. Okay, Sagittarius, your message is the Pearl. So, what is this about? Alchemy, the reward at the end, from grit to grace. Amazing. So that's what I'm seeing here. Alchemy. This is the... So what I want to say is, like, whatever it is that you are working on, Sagittarius, this is where you are... It could be anything. It could be a project that you are taking up, or your personal relationship. If there is something you are coming across which is a little bit challenging, this is where you are seeing things from a different angle, and you are... with this message, what I'm saying is, keep going. Do not doubt yourself. Trust your own instincts and stay in your heart and keep going. Keep the faith. Keep going. Okay, because there is a reward at the end of it. So this has to do with alchemy, something to do with our journey. Sometimes what alchemy means is, sometimes we have to go through the fire in order to get something meaningful, something that's precious, So we have to sometimes go through those challenges, but it's actually going through the challenges that we evolve. That's where the growth lies. We can't always be in our comfort zone. When we are in our comfort zone, we don't learn anything, we don't grow, and it won't be possible for us to fulfill our full potential. So this is where you are coming out of your comfort zone. This is where you are doing something that you are not comfortable with, but you are still pushing through, because the reason why you are doing something, because it's important for you, and that's the message for you. It could be any area of your life. The card is reminding you, keep the faith and keep going, because this is helping you create some transformation in your life. This is also growth. Yeah, you are changing. This experience is changing you. So don't be afraid of the challenges. Instead, don't doubt yourself. Instead, keep the faith and keep going. So yes, let me read this out to you. Be aware of, this is where you are aware. You know what's going on internally, but you are not letting those patterns hold you back. Instead, you are still moving through it. A breakthrough moment. So let's see, the Pearl. All right, for some, it could be you are shopping for gifts. This is where you are reaching out to someone, things like that, connecting with someone here. One, 1, 2. Alchemy, the reward at the end, from grit to grace. Pearls are one of the most precious treasures of this world, and certainly of the sea. While the specifics of their creation remain a mystery, they are believed to be the result of a natural process. Certain mollusks produce pearls as a way of protecting themselves from irritants that enter their shells. The formation of a natural pearl is a rare occurrence, with only one in roughly 10,000 oysters producing one, and it can take anywhere from 6 months to several years. This card brings a precious message that something sacred is being created, and it's likely being created by you. Maybe you have been creating something in the physical, such as a child, a home, or bringing an idea to life. Or perhaps your pearl is more metaphorical than that, having dedicated yourself to alchemizing your hardships into healing, grit into grace. Whatever it is, you are being acknowledged for your work and the deep roots required to truly rise. Wow. Clina was the Celtic goddess of beauty, love, and the ocean, and it was believed she could be found in every ninth wave. Sorry about that. So 9 of Wands, number 9, something to do with maybe, some significance for you, number 9. It was believed she could be found in every ninth wave. It said that people would whisper their wishes and prayers into small pearl offerings placed within a shell and tied with seaweed, and then cast them into the sea on the ninth wave in the hope that goddess would grant their prayer. Offer up your prayers to Clina for the alchemy to continue to happen. The jewel at the end is near. Healing waters activation. I am ready to receive the jewels of my life. I am ready to alchemize my hardships into healing and my grit into grace. Wow. That totally goes with the cards here, Sagittarius. So for some, this is a recognition, someone appreciating your efforts. You know, it could be you appreciating someone else's efforts. For some, it could be happening in their personal life. For some, it could be professional life. If you have been working hard, then this is about you getting some recognition. So amazing. So lovely month. You are in the flow. Nice. So Sagittarius, that's what I have for you. I hope this was helpful. Please remember to watch the moon and the rising sign as well, and take good care of yourself. I will see you in the next reading. Bye bye.